guys. All right, so I have a topic for this video, and my topic really is just an overview, I guess, of how my health has been the last, say, 5 or 6 years, because I haven't really been active on here, and I haven't really, I've made a couple of updates, but that's it. So I have two main things that I deal with. I would consider I guess my mental health over here and my physical health over here. So with my mental health, I have bipolar, and I also have anxiety and depression, a million other things. So over here is that, and that's been around for decades. And then over here, about 5 or 6 years ago, I was diagnosed with they now call it myalgic encephalomyelitis. And it used to be known as chronic fatigue syndrome. And some people still call it chronic fatigue syndrome. So really what it is sort of like this blanket term for a whole bunch of different things that doctors don't really know what they are. It's a neuroimmune disorder. That's about all that's really known. So it affects your brain and your immune system. And it's pretty much caused me to have a million autoimmune disorders. So within that one thing in my physical health, I've got 10 other things that I deal with daily. And I take meds. I take various different meds. So I'll mention them here, but I don't want to talk specifically about all the meds because those entail their own video really by themselves. But after experimenting with stuff for the symptoms I have for the CFS on this side, the biggest symptom I have is pain. I have daily chronic pain in my muscles, in my joints. My body is just sometimes I wake up and I feel like a truck has hit me, truly. It's my body is so stiff and it's hard to put one foot in front of the other. And so after trying different things for pain, I tried Gabapentin. And some people might know Gabapentin as an off-label mental health drug. It's sometimes used for anxiety, but I take it for pain. And it works for me, by and large, for the pain that I experience from the chronic fatigue syndrome and all of those things related to it. So unfortunately, my health, it's in the past several years, it has declined. My health now is not anywhere near what it was 10 years ago, even. I'm turning 40 in a couple of months, and I sometimes feel like I'm 80, truly. Just I have so many bodily things that I deal with that are frustrating and chronic and just annoying. So that impacts my ability to work. I really can't work more than part-time. And so that affects, how much money I have, and it's really changed my life. It affects me mentally as well. And I get this brain fog, which, part of that's probably bipolar as well. So I got all these things affecting my cognitive abilities, and I have definitely noticed that whether it's from bipolar or whether it's from CFS or whatever it's from, cognitively, I am not at the level that I was 5 or 6 years ago. I have declined in that way as well. I used to be someone who could just pick things up like no other. Learning was just I didn't really have to try to do it. Stuff just came to me. And I guess I took that for granted because now I really have to strain to learn things. And I used to love school and I used to love academics, and people probably remember that I made videos back in the day about, school and being in school and all this kind of stuff. And I actually even taught at the community college here for a little while after I got my degree. So I'm very learning inclined, academically inclined, and I just find that now I spend a lot more time just sort of passively doing things. I watch TV a lot more than I ever did in my life, I think, and I do other things that I don't have to really engage my mind because it almost hurts. It's a weird way to explain it, but my mind feels it's just foggy and can't really focus and can't really not like comprehending stuff fully the way that I used to. And I noticed that a couple of years ago when I started working again, and I was trying to learn all this new stuff at my new job, and it wasn't really complex stuff, but I was struggling. It was bad, and it was really a miserable experience. So instead of enjoying learning and enjoying taking on new things, I now dread it, and I just don't do it at all. And so that's impacted my life a lot, that sort of decline. And again, it's a question of, is it bipolar related or is it like CFS related? I guess it kind of doesn't matter because it's all neurologically related in the brain somewhere. But I used to be like a really ambitious person and thinking of, climbing the ladder. How can I climb the ladder? Well, I really don't care about that anymore because it's too much work. The amount of mental work that I have to do just to do kind of like more simpler tasks, it's just beyond me, and it's very depressing. So that affects my mood because I want to be able to function like somebody who's 40 years old, but I have these limitations now that I did not have before. I also have noticed I'm kind of like, I feel that I'm gonna have like dementia or something when I'm older, because I already feel like I'm losing some of my ability to use my mind, but also I'm kind of losing words, and that started years ago, just little by little. It's a regular occurrence now that I cannot find the word, or I kind of like substitute the wrong word in for something, and it's not just like, oh, a once in a while thing. It's all day these things are happening, and I'm just standing there really struggling to find a word. And so the way I communicate with people is not as good and clear as it used to be. A lot of times I have to just strain to get my point across, and that makes it unpleasant as well. Who wants to talk when you can't really articulate what you're thinking or feeling? So that's kind of how things have been going. I know I have to accept this, and that's a big thing that I'll probably make a video on another time, is just the idea of acceptance, accepting your lot in life, so to speak, or, what is happening, things that you can't change. There are things you can change in life, but this is something that I can't change. And some things I can take the medication for. I am also taking mental health medication again in the last, I say, since October, so like about 5 months maybe. I've been taking olanzapine as well, so I am taking stuff for my mental health, and I'm taking stuff for my physical health a little bit. But a lot of things I've noticed are just like lifestyle change. I have had to change things in my life and my routine and the way that I do things to accommodate, these limitations that I have now, physically and mental. So in a way, I'm still the same person, but in a way, I think I've changed a lot because of all of these things that have happened. And I'll get more into it in some other videos, but to prevent this from being super long, that's just an overview of kind of how I've been the last several years. I mean, I'm hanging on, I'm hanging in there. I'm still getting up every single day, and I'm telling myself, you can do this, you got this. I do like my positive self-talk every day. You got this, Nicole, you're gonna do it, you can do it. And I'm still doing it. So I hope everybody out there is well as you can be, kind of like me, and I will talk to you all later.